All right. Want to first of all, thank everyone for joining us today. My name is Jamon Whitehead with Paladin Group, wholly owned subsidiary of MVB Bank, member FDIC, here with Keron King, and we're going to be walking you guys through avoiding a series of holiday season scams. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen a dramatic increase in the number of cyber actors exploiting increased use of virtual environments by government agencies, private sector, private organizations, and individuals. As we move into the holiday season, we want to shift gears slightly to discuss several relevant scams that we want individuals and families to be on the lookout for. These scams may not be specifically related to COVID-19, but could potentially increase as a result. As I mentioned, my name is Jamon Whitehead, here with Keron King with MVB Bank, member FDIC, and I'll go ahead and let her introduce herself now.
Thank you, Jamon. Hi, everyone. My name is Keron King, and I'm with MVB. So I've been with MVB since December of last year. So it's roughly a year, and it's been a great experience for me so far. But I've actually been in banking for about 7 years, and I have experience with online banking claims, fraud disputes, billing disputes. So I've seen a lot, and I've seen how fraudsters try so many means to take from others. So basically, I'm just helping Jamon today with this presentation to provide you with tips and useful information that will help you to avoid fraud as much as possible.
Perfect. Thanks, Keron. And once again, my name is Jamon Whitehead, co-founder and principal consultant with Paladin Group, a wholly owned subsidiary of MVB Bank. We work with a very wide range of clients, everywhere from online retailers to financial institutions and financial service providers, really helping to address a wide range of transactional and financial and identity-based risk among some of the scams that we'll be touching on today. So with that, let's kind of walk through the agenda very briefly. So the 4 common scams that we'll be walking through today as it relates to the holiday season. Number 1, bogus charities, and really charitable giving in general, things you want to look out for there. Number 2, copycat websites and phishing type scams. Certainly these will bubble up throughout the year, but we definitely anticipate that they'll be increasing in frequency throughout the holiday season. Third, we'll be touching on shipping and delivery scams. Obviously large volume of packages going out, during this time of the year. So certain things you'll be want to be on the lookout for there. And then lastly, scams related to gift card fraud. Mm-hmm. So again, as it relates to charitable giving, during the holidays, many of us certainly open our wallets to charity. But definitely want to be careful that your generosity doesn't get you in trouble. We've definitely seen several scams perpetrated through newer crowdfunding sites, for example. These definitely include Good Samaritan type crowdfunding, most of which is fully legitimate, but they're definitely, because these are newer fundraising tools, a lot of people don't necessarily pay too much attention to the vetting process. And, certainly a scammer could quickly and easily throw up some information, make you believe it's legitimate, and certainly it's best to do as much research as possible in these instances. It's also wise to research how donations are used in practice. This is even true for legitimate charity sites. Some charities end up spending much of the money they collect on administration rather than on the actual services themselves. These aren't exactly outright scams, but certainly research can be done to determine the portion of resource dedicated to the actual mission work. Lots of great resources out there, for this purpose. In particular, ftc.gov/charity. Definitely some things you want to take a look at. As we proceed through the holiday and the giving season. So with that, Keron, do you want to walk us through some of these concerns around copycat websites and phishing?
Sure. So as it relates to copycat websites and phishing, during this time, it's not uncommon to find these seemingly amazing deals on social media in marketing emails or through web searches that can lead you to sites that look just like a legitimate retailers, but aren't. Some of those actors are out to sell you goods that are inferior or counterfeit or they just don't arrive at all. Other sites encourage you to provide your personal information, which they then use to establish credit cards in your name, steal from your financial accounts, and divert payments meant for you. Interacting with nefarious actors or sites online can put you at a significant risk. So as I mentioned, during the holidays, you will likely come across websites that look real but are not. Me submitting a lot of these fraud cases, I've seen this a lot, especially with this pandemic. Fraudsters are very desperate during this time. And so one of the biggest complaints that I've seen from customers is that they're saying that, oh, they're ordering products and or they're just getting attempting to get services from websites that are retailers that they're not familiar with, and they're not getting their products. And we're having to submit all these claims for these clients, and I feel terrible for them, but these are some of the issues that they're having to face as a result of what's happening right now. So, ask yourself these questions. When you receive that email or advertisement or whatever the case may be, ask yourself, is this deal too good to be true? And because usually if it seems too good to be true, that's usually the case. You also want to make sure that the link is legitimate. And one way to tell is if it says HTTPS, because the S indicates that it's a secure website. The other thing too is that if it's if it's highlighted in green, it shows that is an indication also that it's legitimate. You also want to ask yourself if this behavior will put you at a financial risk. So of course, we're dealing with a pandemic. A lot of us are being impacted. Businesses, myself, my family, friends, all of us are being affected as a result of what's happening around us. So whether you're questioning if you're dealing with a legitimate retailer or not, you always want to ask yourself, does this make sense for me? Does this make sense for my budget? Because right now, as it stands, we don't know what tomorrow brings. So you really have to be careful and ask yourself if this behavior will put you at a financial risk. And then I also want to talk about phishing. So phishing is when a site tries to get you to provide your personal information, which bad actors then use to steal your identity. And when you receive these emails, usually you want to look for like misspellings. The other thing too is if they're not calling you by your name, that's one thing to look out for. So just this little tips and information that we wanted to share with you as it relates to this. Copycat websites, what I've seen is that you'll click on a link that you think is for JCPenney, for example, and then it redirects you to a different website, and then you've just given all your information to a business that you have no idea about. So you just want to be really careful, especially during the holidays, especially during this pandemic, because as I've said, we're all suffering in different ways financially. So you don't want to put yourself more at risk by not making, wise decisions.
Yeah, that's great info there, Keron. Would you mind walking us through some of these shipping and delivery scams as well?
Sure, yes, I would love to. Okay, so as it relates to shipping and delivery scams, it can be extremely satisfying to receive a gift you weren't expecting. As for me, I love receiving gifts and I love surprises. But the thing is, scammers count on that psychology to defraud consumers during the holidays. You might find an official looking notice in your mailbox, for instance, stating that a package delivery attempt was made. You can call the given number and are told to provide your personal information, say a credit card or social security number, in order to get the package delivered. A crook can then use that information to set up a credit card account in your name and commit other forms of identity theft. And I'm actually a victim of this, because I've been getting a lot of text messages from UPS, hey, your package there's an issue with your package, and there's actually a link in the text. So you really want to be careful of that. fine. You know, sometimes we get packages from friends or family and it's a surprise. But if you didn't order anything and you're getting a text message or an email, that's something to question. So you just really want to look for little things like that. So another scam involves an email claiming there's a problem with your delivery, as I mentioned, because it can either be by email or text, but they try multiple ways. But when you click on the link, you're directed to a bogus site that asks you to confirm personal information. The email usually mimic UPS, FedEx, or US Postal Service graphically, but they can also mimic retailers, a bank, a credit card company. People are shopping more now, and scammers use this fact to their advantage.
Yeah, that's great advice. You know, it's funny. I think I probably received more spam and phishing attempts through SMS text message than email anymore. It's crazy. So yeah, thanks for that info. So yeah, the last scam we want to talk a little bit about here, or scams really, are those related to gift card fraud. You know, if you've received a gift card you can't use or don't want to re-gift, there are definitely buyers online willing to take them off your hands. Certainly be careful about who you're dealing with, however. You know, there are definitely scammers out there offering to buy gift cards, you know, and they may ask you to do a three-way balance check in which they listen in on the phone while you confirm the balance with the card issuer. What they're really doing here is they're capturing the sounds of the keystrokes to determine your login information. This way, they can actually use the value of the card without you even knowing it. In addition, you know, thanks to the popularity of gift cards in general, there's a fairly profitable gift card reseller market that consumers can unwanted gift cards for cash or buy other gift cards at less than face value in some cases. To shorten the time between buying and selling these gift cards and to eliminate the need to ship the physical plastic, many online resellers accept gift card codes, the number on the card, rather than require sellers to mail the physical plastic card before getting payment. You know, scammers sometimes try to sell these codes for cash and then quickly use the cards themselves after the company confirms the balance. This way, they basically double dip. They get payment for the value of the gift card, and they get to actually use the gift card itself. You know, in some cases, the reseller will discover the fraud. In other cases, the person buying the discounted gift card is the one who figures it out later on. Similar secondary market concern here includes purchase of a gift card that was originally purchased with a stolen credit card from a retailer site. In many cases, the retailer will have identified the transaction as fraudulent and cancel the gift card value balance before the legitimate purchaser can even use it. You know, in this case, the end purchaser is the fact that it was purchased with a stolen credit card is unbeknownst to them, but they're still caught up in the mix because they purchased this card with their money and now it's at a $0 balance. So, you know, definitely a number of scams out there related to gift cards. Holiday season, lots of gift cards changing hands, so definitely be on the lookout. So how to defend yourself from these holiday scams? You know, there's a number of different ways to defend against these scams. In particular, as it relates to charitable giving, certainly be sure to donate to crowdfunding sites established by people you know, or at least people who can be vouched for by people you know. Additionally, check how much a charity actually gives to its mission on websites such as Charity Watch and Charity Navigator. And then lastly, if you want to get a tax deduction, you know, you can also go to the charity's website itself to confirm tax exempt status, or certainly check with the IRS.
Watch out for URLs that use the names of well-known brands along with extra words. To protect yourself, type the URL of the company directly into your browser rather than clicking on it in an email or social media post. So even if you receive a seemingly legitimate email and you're still a little bit unsure, what we're saying is that if you are not sure, it's best to click out of that and just go to the official website, or even just call the number. In the case of Amazon, just call Amazon. Hey, I received this email. I'm not really sure if this is legitimate or not. They will tell you. Hey, so the other thing is to, as mentioned earlier, make sure any payment page has an S after HTTP in its URL. So the S, as I mentioned earlier, is an indication that it is a secure website. So you really want to look for that. You want to look for that. And then also if it's highlighted in green at the beginning of the web address, it's also that's an indicator that it's an official website. So before you call the phone number on the mailbox notice, check it for web addresses and tracking numbers. As it relates to this too, if you're unsure, do the extra work, do your research, or just make a phone call to the number that you actually know, the number that you're familiar with. If you receive an email that there's a problem with a delivery from a retailer, go to the website yourself.
Yeah, great tips there as well. Thanks for those call outs there, Keron. And then lastly, as far as gift card related fraud goes, certainly steer clear of posting social media for gift card purchase offers, or certainly from individuals offering to pay 100% of your card's value. Definitely a red flag there. Legitimate buyer will definitely pay a portion of the card value, say 80% of what the card's worth. And then, certainly sellers are better off using gift card marketplaces like cardpool.com and raise.com, which have, certainly have customer service contacts and are tracked by the Better Business Bureau. So with that, we want to thank everyone again for dropping in with us today. This session has been brought to you by MVB Bank, member FDIC, trusted partners on the financial frontier, committed to your success. Again, myself, Jamon Whitehead, thank you so much, Keron, for joining as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Jamon.
Perfect. And finally, if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to us directly at, you can contact via info@paladinfraud.com. Thanks again and have a great day.
Bye.